This podcast is brought to you by Squatching.com and made possible by listeners like you. Check us out on Venmo at Bigfoot UFO. And now, the conclusion of our collaboration with Kim and Jen from the Twisted Teachers podcast.
All Things Unexplained. Hosted by Dr. Mounts.
Let's face it, we were always ready to roll without him anyway.
CJ Derringer.
Ain't nobody perfect, right?
And Smitty Neebs.
I've never planned out hardly anything my whole life. I just freeball.
Featuring Cajun Man.
I'm just old nobody, somebody looking for somebody.
We are counting down our favorite summer things on the screen. It might be movies, it might be television shows, but we're going to dive right into it. Here's Kim and Jen, the Twisted Teachers, number 2. Dead Poet Society. I think I've got it here. Let's see what I can pull up.
Words and language. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. Now, see that look in Mr. Pitt's eye? Like 19th century literature has nothing to do with going to business school or medical school, right? Maybe. Mr. Hopkins, you may agree with them, thinking, yes, we should simply study our Mr. Pritchard and learn our rhyme and meter and go quietly about the business of achieving other ambitions. A little secret for you. Huddle up. Huddle up! We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, "O me, O life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, O me, O life?" Answer, that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. The powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?
Very motivating.
Amazing.
Well, I love Robin Williams, and the issue, I think the movie, other than this, the suicide is horrible. Like, that is just not, that's why it's not number 1. And unfortunately, he's kicked out because he's not understood. But just some of the messages, any ELA high school teacher, this is their go-to movie for, inspiration, motivation, and because he's teaching against the grain. He's teaching the thing that others don't want to teach, and it really just speaks to a lot of the things that are happening right now in education. That if you're going to teach truth, and that's why I love it. And I just think Robin Williams did an amazing job. But the suicide part has always just, it's very, very hard to watch. And it's an older movie and everything, but it always, I wouldn't suggest that for kids to watch right now at all. High school kids at all. So, but the getting on the desks, I've seen teachers try that, and I have never tried it because I would just fall. It would not be good. I've always wanted to do it. Maybe during my next professional development that I'm doing, I might just stand on the desk.
Yes, do it and video it and send it to us.
Yes. Teachers would love that.
I would view that as an opportunity, a creative way to workers' comp.
I won't wear heels that day.
My mother used to tell me she worked at a shirt factory, and anytime they mopped the floor or a leak happened somewhere, that one lady after another would come by and slip and fall and sustain horrible injuries, and it was just like a steady procession to the workers' comp office.
The only thing that got me in the book when he was ripping pages out of the books that hurt a little just in my soul.
Sacrilegious, yes. Don't rip the book.
Yeah, well, Einstein said I would have learned a lot if it hadn't been for school. So who knows?
True. That's our second.
Yeah, that's a great one. And Robin Williams, like you said, he's now been in 2 of our movies that we've listed. So that certainly speaks to him as an actor. He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He certainly delivered that well. Yeah.
Right up there with Flubber.
Okay, well, my number 2 is actually... Did you mention Flubber?
Oh my God.
Keep going, sorry.
They can't all be winners.
He was a scientist. Keep going.
My number 2 is a TV show rather than a movie, and this one was incredibly influential.
Oh, don't say
in
it.
My childhood. Okay.
Don't say it. Let me see if people don't recognize this. This is one of those show. Your show made a mark when people instantly recognize the song. Right? Hold on. I got it here. Where are you? Got it.
Oh, I think I'm excited.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm
Where's
in a
Screech
mess.
at?
And my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be alright. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell.
I mean, so great. But I actually thought that this is what school was going to be like, right? I grew up watching Saved by the Bell, and I thought I'd go to this tiny little school with the one classroom, and you'd have the same teacher for 4 years, and the principal knew all of the kids, and I'd be Kelly Kapowski, and I would date, Zack, and it would just all be great. Everybody would have school spirit. We'd all play all of the sports, but high school wasn't actually like that. But that show, I mean, I think I've seen every episode. I don't know how many times, and I actually started telling time based on Saved by the Bell. Like, my parents would say, okay, it's going to be a 3-hour road trip. And I would go, okay, well, that's 6 Saved by the Bell episodes. So that's kind of a long time to get there. Like, truly.
Somehow, right?
So, what's weird is when you first see these shows in a certain age and they leave such a great impression on you, and, you have nothing but fond memories of them. But there's actually a YouTube channel, some sort of channel, that is like the twisted side of Saved by the Bell, and it recounts, episodes, and when you rehear the synopsis, you're like, what the hell was I thinking watching this? So, for example, one episode was, remember the time Zack pretended to have cancer and was dying so he wouldn't have to go on a date with the fat girl?
We could never, ever have a show anywhere near having those themes.
But when you're watching it, you're like, hey, this is great. This is funny,
It's funny. And you watch it now, you're like, who's getting in trouble? Like,
Oh.
It's not funny. I'm not laughing at those things, I promise. But the fact that it was in a show, I feel like I have to be
that
so
we all
careful.
watched. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
love
grew up with that show, truly.
But you saw that episode, I bet, right?
I've seen them all, absolutely. Yeah.
But now let me ask you this. It feels like that was a real episode, but was it?
Oh, I think that was absolutely a real episode. And I think he came around in the end and realized that she actually was like, hurt by him. Okay, I haven't seen it. I'm not going to go into it. It's fine. I don't remember it from 20.
You know what? It may be a case of like this global confusion that we've heard about. I'll give you an example. Was that a real episode? Was it not? We feel like it was. But was it Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears?
Bernstein Bears.
See, our brains automatically think it was one way, but it wasn't. It was the other way. Why were we all hypnotized into thinking it was something that it wasn't? Who knows? Sorry, that was just an unexplained tangent.
No, that's a phenomenon to remember things incorrectly. I forgot the name of that. Where you
The Mandela effect.
yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Look at you pulling that out of
Right.
I believe
nowhere.
that's right.
Yeah, you remember things differently. Like, there's one thing about Britney Spears that I don't know, I can't speak to it, but she had, like, I think in that one of the most iconic pictures of her, you remember her with a headset, but she didn't have a headset, or it was the other way around. So yeah, Mandela effect is pretty interesting.
I mean, it's also a TikTok trend right now.
Thanks,
but-
Jen.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Next episode.
Thanks for Saved by the Bell, CJ. That brought back a lot of
Yes.
memories. So my
Yeah.
number 2, I'm not gonna lie, it's just about summer break. I guess I'm stuck on summer vacation. I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
This summer, when you think vacation, think National Lampoon's Vacation. See the real America.
Hey, underpants. Hey, yellow.
It's friendly.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Don't you want to look at the Grand Canyon?
It's educational.
It's great.
And most of all, it's fun.
The dog went on the picnic basket.
Let Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo,
Oh, and
Imogene Coca,
Uncle Eddie or Cousin
Randy
Eddie.
Quaid, John Candy, and Christy Brinkley.
So they're going to Wally World. Yet another teacher movie, not appropriate for kids. Sorry.
No.
At least not the unedited part.
National Lampoon.
National Lampoon's Vacation. Just vacation, not in
trying to
not in
remember.
Europe,
No fun.
not at Christmas. Just summer vacation.
Not Vegas. Just summer
Not
vacation.
Vegas.
Okay, so this wasn't the one where the grandma passed and they put her on the top of the car. Am I
No, it was.
missing this?
That is the right one.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
They did put Grandma on top of the car. But the thing is, it's like they were torn because Grandma was just in the way. Grandma snored all the time. She was rude and sarcastic. She ate sandwiches the dog had peed on, didn't care. And then so they were torn, right? So when she died, it kind of freed them up a lot, you know? Like, I mean, we didn't really like Grandma anyway that much. Listener George Winter said, Christy Brinkley in the red Ferrari. That sounds vaguely familiar, George. I think I remember that part.
Yeah, National Lampoon. I mean, it stays with you. The grandma in the car. Obviously, I'm remembering because I was remembering if I had a false memory for some reason, but I did not. So
It was not the Mandela effect. It was
no,
real.
it was not.
So that's where by the time
I-
by the time they get to the end of the trip or their destination, which was Wally World, which was in California, which was kind of like the ripoff of Disneyland, you know. But Clark Griswold had gone through so much. When they finally get there to discover it was closed, he just couldn't handle it. So he holds the security guard, John Candy, hostage and makes him take him on all the rides at Wally World. A happy ending.
Yep.
So here's the fun fact. So Russ from the Christmas Vacation, did you know that he is the Johnny Galecki who is in Big Bang Theory? That he's Leonard?
No way.
Yeah.
Russ from the Christmas Vacation Lampoon, that one, my husband's favorite movie. That is, that's Leonard from Big Bang
Oh,
Theory.
wow.
I had to say it all over again because it is that mind blowing.
Jeez.
But because you have movie trivia. for someone who doesn't watch movies.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'm very impressed with it. Like, just let her say it 3 more times. And I'll just play it over on a reel.
Well, I feel like if I say the one fact 3 times, it makes me seem 3 times.
So you got to have
smart.
that person. You got to have a Jen on your trivia team. She's got that one fact that gets you first place. Like,
She does.
otherwise, you're just tied with everybody else for last.
The only trivia I could ever win is like if it's a Sex and the City trivia. I could win that.
Ooh, I could do French trivia.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so
French
I hope
trivia,
you
I
have
could
my first one. I don't know again which list I sent it to you on, but Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Let me see what I got here. You may be in luck.
I was sitting here trying to figure out if you were going to go with Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's
I got them
Day
both.
Off.
Both classic.
But I have an honorable mention.
Oh yeah, you do have.
From a famous book.
You do have an honorable mention. This is number 2, right? So we're gonna.
This is number
This is
1.
where I'm on.
Oh,
No,
number
we're
1.
at 1.
Let's hit up some honorable mentions before we get to our number 1s. And then if we have time for our hot takes, we'll take them. But they'll have to be true hot takes, I think, tonight if we get to them. CJ.
Yeah, I don't know that we've got time.
Yeah, maybe y'all could come back for some teacher
I got a
hot
baby
takes.
that's about to wake up in like
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes. So
So an honorable mention. Which one you want to go with for honorable mention here before your number 1?
I'd say Matilda.
Oh, Matilda.
You don't have that.
No,
one?
I don't.
Did you ever
Sorry.
throw that one off?
That is
No, it's on one of the lists.
No,
That's
she
5 that I
meant to
sent.
say Ferris Bueller's
that is a
Day
good
Off.
honorable mention.
Okay,
Ferris
let's do Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
Here. Adam
go.
Lee,
Here.
Adamowski, Adamson,
Here.
Adler,
Here.
Anderson, Anderson,
Here.
Bueller,
Bueller.
Bueller.
Bueller,
Bueller.
Bueller,
I love the
Bueller.
girls' reply to him.
He's sick. My best friend's sister's boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows this kid is going with the girl who saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. I guess it's pretty serious.
Not Baskin Robbins.
Thank you, Simone.
No problem whatsoever.
Fry,
She definitely was not talking about Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors.
31 Flavors is
This
a
is
real
a classic.
thing. That was a real thing.
What?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yes. I used to go to 31 Flavors all the
Yes.
time.
And they didn't always have 31 flavors, though. That's what always threw me
No,
off.
baffling, really.
Yeah, they don't name it
I thought
something you
Baskin
can't,
Robbins
you can't
was
stand
known
up
for
to.
that exact
Wasn't real in Mississippi.
But no, Ferris Bueller is a complete classic. I mean, if the kids today knew how to really skip, they'd leave the building and do what
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. Like, our kids skip and they're like out in the hallway. I'm like, why? I think it makes the principal so horrible, and the sister, oh my gosh, she's my favorite. Just trying to catch him, and I don't know, it's just a classic. You have to see it, and then on the float.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so many iconic
Oh,
moments
yeah.
in that movie. So I think if you're gonna skip, you need to do a good job of it.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
A valuable lesson for all students and teachers, by the way.
Oh, teachers just leave. We see them leaving early. It's like, oh, okay. They're not skipping. They're very open about time to go.
I'm out of here. Personal day, son. Cashing it in. CJ, did you have an honorable mention tonight?
I
think you
I
did
did
have
not
some.
share one with you, but I do love A Beautiful Mind. I'm going to say that one
Oh,
again
yeah.
because I think that one's worth noting. That's a great movie. But it just kind of popped in my head right now. Clueless. Clueless was an awesome high
Yes.
school movie. Just some hysterical one-liners in that movie, and that one was really funny. So Clueless would be an honorable mention for me.
Well, I just glossed over so many movies that I wanted to put in here, but couldn't. Like a classic summer movie, Ernest Goes to Camp. Who could forget that one? But there were so many others too, right? Like Dirty Dancing, Grease. Who remembers
Grease. Grease is
Grease?
a great one.
Summer Lovin'?
Grease is that. was so inappropriate.
Had me up. It was inappropriate.
To really understanding that movie and the songs, like, oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh, Elvis, Elvis, let me be. Keep that pelvis far from me. That one stuck with me from that movie.
So, George, yes, you would think that there would be movies like that, but some of us didn't pick anything related to school at all.
What's going on here?
Some of us didn't follow the directions that he set out for the podcast, but we're not naming any names. It's okay. There's only one.
This could come down to gender differences here. I'm just saying.
No. It's about, we're trying to make a stretch.
So,
like, I thought you were going to say The Godfather.
The Godfather is a great movie. Man, we'll throw that in there.
They're teaching each other how to live out in the world.
The ultimate summer camp movie.
Teaching
So
people how to be
I
in
thought
the
CJ actually was referring to this camp when she was talking about camping out earlier at Camp Crystal Lake, Friday the 13th. When we were talking about television shows earlier, one of the television shows that my mind goes to in the summer is just kind of known by one thing, by one saying, like sands through the hourglass. I don't know why, but that just pops in my mind for some. Yeah, I think it has something to do with my mother. Yeah, never mind. I think it has something to do with my mother.
The fact that I know these references is Days of Our
There we
Lives.
go.
That's
yeah.
like
Days of Our Lives.
Or the Days of Our Lives.
A soap opera that used to be on. Like,
No,
you
it's
never
still
watched
on.
Soap operas or The Price of Right, unless it was.
Yeah,
summertime.
right. Unless it was
or
summertime.
Your grandma's house.
Remember The
I
Price
think
of
it's still
Right?
on. Stand By Me.
It is still on.
Yeah, remember?
I was talking to some teachers about Days of Our Lives not too long ago. I'm like, is Marlena, does she still have the evil twin? And yeah, Marlena, who is that actress, has got to be like 95 years old and still on the show. I have to check it. She was like possessed in one season. Like, anyway, I think soap operas is a whole other
for sure.
topic.
We
Oh, yeah.
could definitely
Whole
do
different
that.
category.
I really wanted to have the Goonies on my list, but it didn't make the cut. I know, right? The Goonies.
That's a great one.
Hey, you guys.
Thank God you included Independence Day
I know.
though, instead.
I was really torn.
Because that makes a lot of sense.
I really wanted to have I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Parent Trap. Y'all remember What About Bob?
Okay, this
The
could be a whole
Sandlot?
nother show of you
No,
just
I'm
trying
just
to
saying.
hit your honorable
No, I'm
mentions.
wrapping.
You
Okay,
get
I'm wrapping
one,
up
and
honorable
you've
mentions.
already done
Transformers. No, so
16 over.
for my honorable mention. No, seriously, I'm gonna get serious for a moment here. So,
Oh, great.
This is a
Is
true.
this another honorable mention? We're still going.
No,
with
this is honorable mention. No, this is my honorable mention, but a tribute to
you're one.
teaching.
Okay,
This
I
was
see.
from when I went back, when summer was over. I go back to school. I need a little motivation. I had 3 go-tos. One was Stand and Deliver about Jaime Escalante, the brilliant calculus teacher. One was Lean on Me.
One honorable mention just turned into
No.
3.
But one was Lean on Me with Morgan
It's
Freeman,
like
and
18.
this was the one that really got me motivated and pumped up to get back to school. This right here. This was my what I brought into school first day of class.
187 murderer, we killing, captain, murder. They got the beach ready to block. On the beach, I'm killing. Got my tech 9 ready to spin. Ain't no love. Better run quick and duck down from this killer, this murder. I'm out the block. Hands over some dope, give my coke, ain't no love with a violation.
Good morning, class.
That's when you get the ruler out too.
Today, we're going to talk about Vietnam.
Yeah, who?
You had to be resourceful in Vietnam. You had to grow eyes in the back of your head. I don't like disorder in my room.
Tim, what are you doing on this show? Where are you taking us? I don't understand. I need like a warning before you play stuff like that.
A warning.
My tender heart can't take it.
That was the most timid scene of the whole movie. Well, anyway, so he goes in. He's a substitute teacher. He basically, kicks some tail. And
That's the movie that you're telling us inspired you to go back to teaching at the end of the summer?
yeah, that's right. It took some hardcore motivation to get back in the classroom. Let me tell you.
What
We need more
movie
teachers
was
like that.
it?
The Substitute. It's literally about a substitute teacher.
You have taken this podcast
It's-
to a whole new level.
It's a classic.
I think it's because we're here. I think we've infected you with the twisted nature of our lives in our podcast. I'm sorry.
It's true. George Winter says he's telling his son earmuffs. Sorry about that. Earmuffs.
All right, so I think we're at our number one, which I already spilled the beans, which is Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Yes.
So, love that movie.
That is a great one.
Don Hughes, anytime.
Well, here we are. I want to congratulate you for being on time.
Excuse me, sir. I think there's been a mistake. I know it's detention, but, I don't think I belong in here.
It is now 7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you're here, to ponder the error of your ways. And you may not talk.
No
Will
talking.
not move from these seats. And you
CJ actually quoted this
will not sleep.
scene to me the other day. Do
All
you
right,
remember
people,
that?
we're going to try something a little different today.
When I told you
We
not
are
talk
going
and
to
not
write
move.
an essay
When you tell me what?
of no less than
To
1,000
not talk or
words,
move.
Something like that.
describing to me who you think you are.
Is this a test?
And when I say essay, I mean essay.
Not the same word 1,000 times
I
in a
do
row.
not mean a single word repeated 1,000 times. Is that clear, Mr. Bender?
Crystal.
Good. Maybe you'll learn a little something about yourself. Maybe you'll even...
No, that's where he finishes off. He says, mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns. I don't want to hear anything else from this detention.
So that movie, there was Ali Sheedy played the introverted kind of emo girl, and she has that scene where she's doing the dandruff. And I had a student in my class years and years and years ago who would literally put something on she would look at her dandruff as she did it too. So one of the pranks that some of my friends did was they cleared my entire desk off and created a whole scene, because I think she made a winter scene or something. They created a whole scene out of salt and pepper on my desk because I had told them about my Ali Sheedy in my class. So it's a Breakfast Club reference.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. So, but no, I mean, and Molly Ringwald, she's just, I mean, it's again iconic. Those are all fabulous shows, and I watched them for the first time with my daughters. My daughters are 28 and almost 20, and I remember watching them with them. And it's a good movie to watch. It's clean. I don't see how anyone could keep teenagers in a room for 8 hours. I think that's, now that I'm a high school teacher, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you could do that.
No.
Because and with no phones. No. So anyway, I love the movie. It's one of my all times.
It's a classic. I think detention still happens in Mississippi, like all day. I remember when I left Mississippi in 2009, 2010, there was still a detention room with cubicles, and I mean, they sat in their cubicle all day long. But the teachers basically sent them their work, right? Whatever they were supposed to be working on in class, they sent them down to their cubicle.
Suspension.
ISS.
Yes, ISS, yes. Well,
I think detention is a little friendlier.
it could be. Well, CJ, we're up to your number one, I think.
Ooh. Okay, I still have not recovered from your last clip.
Yeah, sorry about that.
My heart
I
is pounding, I'm
apologize.
sweating.
Yeah.
My God, turn it off. Ah, jeez. Okay,
should have
my
given a
number
warning.
one- Yeah, yes, that's what they do on the news, right? Like, we just want to warn you that the clip you're about to hear is explicit. We'll give you 10 seconds. You were just like, here it is, folks. Boop. All right, my number one teacher high school movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. I don't know if anybody else here saw it, but I was probably 15 or 16 when this movie came
Katerina.
out. And I remember
Anyone
it
cry
being-
today?
Sadly, no. But it's only 4:30.
Which one do you like better?
Oh.
Number one, Kat reads the poem.
It's not my
After
fault.
discovering the truth behind Patrick's motives, Kat storms out of the prom without looking back.
It's not
this
my
being their
fault.
last scene together,
This is
So,
on
tell me about
CJ.
this dance. Was it hopping?
we're
not
still
even
uncertain
in the
about the
movie,
fate of their
this part.
relationship. That is, until she
not in
courageously
the movie.
volunteers
It's kind of a
to read her poem.
synopsis.
I will.
Okay, well, let
We
me
realize
give
that
the
Kat's
synopsis then.
fearlessness knows.
Where did that come
Good
from? That
gravy.
movie.
What is happening? This show is derailing.
Where did that come from?
So that is a pretty funny.
I don't control the
scene.
internet,
But
y'all. I don't know what to say.
Anyways, so when I first saw this movie, I'll never forget. It was in my room with my best friend Sarah Smiles, and this was the first time that I think I had watched a movie and laughed out loud because I thought it was funny and not because the grown-ups around me or whatever were laughing, and so therefore I was supposed to think it was funny. I truly just laughed out loud so much in this movie, and Heath Ledger's in it. He was, supposed to be a senior in the movie, but I think he was probably 21 at the time, and this might have been the first movie he was ever in, and just swoon as a 16-year-old girl. This guy was just like everything. And there's this scene in the movie where he's trying to make up for something that he's done, and he pays somebody to give him the microphone, and he's singing in the stands, "It's too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you." I mean, it's amazing. So to come full circle, I watched this movie just a few months ago with a girlfriend of mine. And the whole time I was smiling and still crushing on Heath Ledger. I mean, truly, I was like, this guy is so cute. And then I realized that he was 21 in the movie. And I am so much older than that now. And I have become the teacher and never been kissed. I'm the creepy old person that's like, has a thing for the super young kid.
Well, I mean, at least you've acknowledged that. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Just saying.
Oh. Yeah, you're gonna have to run the warning before this one. But yeah, I thought that movie was hysterical, and it's a take on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. So it was sort of a modern day Taming of the Shrew. It was so good.
And that's not a clean story at all.
No.
Shakespeare's a dirty boy.
Yeah. Hence.
That's all I gotta say.
Hence the clip that you heard.
Apparently my A is sticking, so I know it's got an A in there. Which is a legitimate excuse
No,
now.
yeah.
By the way,
No,
I think most of the people in this show right now remember when we wrote papers by hand, and we weren't allowed to use a pen, probably, because that would be messy if we made mistakes. But I guess it would be a legitimate excuse now, right? With papers, well, my keyboard's jacked up. What can I do? It's misspelled the words for me. But seriously, with autocorrect, I mean, do people even misspell words anymore? I'm not sure. Do y'all get that?
Yes, because some kids don't know the right one.
You would be amazed.
That would
They
kill
don't know
me.
the right word to pick.
Wow. Well,
Or they just like go crazy with the thesaurus and
yeah.
it makes no sense.
well, my number one continues.
Wait, had nobody else had seen 10 Things I Hate About You? No one has seen that movie?
I think I've seen. I remember.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay. All right, go on.
I mean, there was clearly at least one thing I hated about the trailer for the movie, which must have been why I never went to see it. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't know about the movie. They were drawing on people's faces, and I know you explained it kind of good. I need to watch it, I guess. But it was a good one.
Take us to your number one, and please, dear Lord, let it just be one.
It is just one movie. It continues to strongly influence my summer vacations to this day. In case you can't tell, that's my favorite part of teaching. My number one powerful influence on my life and my summer vacations from childhood till today.
Do we need any warnings before?
There is a creature alive today.
No warnings.
Who has survived millions of years of evolution. Without change. Without passion. And without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
You know what?
Again.
Yeah. That trailer is actually pretty politically incorrect these days. Because now it's like, okay, are sharks really evil, devouring machines that eat anything? Piano, eat it. Human, eat it. You know, they actually blame Jaws on, I think, the bad reputation that sharks had. I don't think sharks actually had such a bad reputation pre-Jaws, and that Jaws actually influenced the way people view sharks, negatively, because of trailers like that. And of course, if you saw the movie, you were just horrified. And like the woman said on that viral video not too long ago, right? Like, that's the shark's home. I don't go in the shark's home, okay? The sand, that's my home. Shark doesn't come in my home. I don't go in his home. We're all good.
I'm pretty sure that if I hadn't seen the movie, I'd still stay the bleep away from the shark. Because they're scary. But that movie, I mean, I tried to watch it again not too long ago, and it is very disturbing.
Scarring.
Oh,
So that does bring us
Yes.
back to teaching. Because teaching is a scarring experience, and you just never get over it. And there's sharks out there coming at us from all directions in society. So I'm going to go ahead and allegorize that if that's even.
That's exactly what I was thinking, to be honest.
I thought so. I'm trying to help you out. This is coming from a teach. I taught gifted, and we didn't have standards, so I would just pull things from the ethers and make it sound good. So there you go. I'm not sure that has a lot to do with school, but I think we have to have a whole episode of your movies and how they relate to school at some other time.
With that being said, this sounds like our outro music. CJ, I think you're muted.
Oh, shoot. I've got one story to tell about Jaws. When I was a younger, and I don't know that I've ever seen Jaws actually, because I think I was just too young when it came out. But when I was a kid, my uncle told me that he was out on his fishing boat, and he did have a very big boat. And he was out on his fishing boat, and a shark started to attack the boat. And that he threw some TNT into the shark's mouth, and the shark exploded.
What?
And so, I just thought that was real. And so I would tell other people that story.
I'm going, really? Did that really happen?
I would tell other people that story, thinking that was real, that my uncle actually did that. And one day some kid was like, yeah, no, that's from Jaws. Oh.
What's amazing is
That was the big old bubble burst in your
Oh,
face right
big
there.
time.
Oh my goodness.
Big time. Yeah.
what's amazing is, despite the fact that is how Jaws ended, Jaws still came back for part 2.
And that's what it was. Jaws it was the kid.
I think
right?
that was part 3 when they attacked SeaWorld.
Oh goodness.
It's like-
I didn't get that far.
And the thing is, the irony is, he set loose some killer whales, some orcas, and we now know orcas kill great white sharks and selectively eat their livers. We don't know why they do that, but all things unexplained, y'all.
There you
Happy
go.
note to end the show.
Yes. Well, Kim and Jen, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Once again, they are from Twisted Teachers Podcast. Tell us where we can find more about you. Do you guys have a website or some social media handles?
Website coming soon, but right now you can find us on Instagram at twisted__teacher.
Ooh, 2 underscores.
And we have all of our contact information there.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook as well, Twisted Teachers.
Yep.
And we have TikTok, and we have our own separate accounts on there, but we try to connect them in. So don't bash me on TikTok anymore. Please stop.
Just make those comments muted.
Do a whole episode on cruel TikToks.
Yep, and you. There you go. And then you can find us on any podcast app by just searching Twisted Teachers.
Wonderful.
Yeah. We have about 92 episodes. We've got a series of teachers who stayed, teachers who left, and we do our regular episodes about hot topics in education, and then we just talk about life, and then we have snippets that are about, it's like our nothing
Just a
episode.
check-in.
Yeah. Just a hi.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so thank you so much for
Oh, this
having
is fun.
us.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We didn't even get to
I
our
wanna
hot
have you
takes.
guys back and do some more teacher stuff. I know we got some hot takes we got to go over, and just classroom stories are always so funny. We've got to dive into some of those. So we'll have you guys on again.
Thank y'all.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Thank you so much.
You've been listening to All Things Unexplained. If you liked this podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. If you would like to hear more All Things Unexplained, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Our show depends on the support of listeners like you. Find us on Venmo under the business accounts. Just look for @Bigfoot UFO. Additionally, you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/unexplained. If you can't get enough of us, go ahead and check us out at allthings-unexplained.com. A special thanks to our producer, director, sound mixer, editor, and the man who wears far too many hats. No, seriously, he wears a lot of hats, Dr. Tim Mounts. Without you, we couldn't keep the lights on. Thanks for listening to All Things Unexplained.